me ask you something before we even begin. When was the last time you scrolled through your phone, saw someone else's life, their house, their marriage, their wealth, their success, their body, their vacation, and felt a quiet sting in your chest? Be honest with yourself, because I already know the answer. It happens to almost all of us, more often than we would like to admit. And tonight I want to talk about why that quiet sting is quietly destroying something very precious inside of you, and what our faith teaches us to do about it. Comparison has always existed. Human beings have always looked at each other and measured themselves against one another. But never in human history has comparison been this constant, this instant, and this manipulated. In previous generations, you compared yourself to your neighbors, your cousins, maybe a handful of people in your community. Today, you compare yourself to thousands of curated, filtered, edited highlight reels every single day without even realizing how much it is shaping your mood, your gratitude, and your sense of self-worth. Here is the first thing I want you to understand clearly. What you see of other people's lives is never the full picture. You are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You know every struggle, every doubt, every sleepless night, every insecurity in your own life, but you only see the polished, chosen, filtered version of everyone else's. This is not an equal comparison. It was never a fair fight to begin with. You are comparing your reality to someone else's illusion and then wondering why you always come up short. Think about the person whose marriage looks perfect online. You do not see the arguments behind closed doors. Think about the person whose business looks like it's thriving. You do not see the debt, the stress, the sleepless nights trying to keep it afloat. Think about the person whose body looks flawless in every photo. You do not see the hours of editing, the specific angles, the insecurities they carry that no filter can hide from themselves. Even if it hides it from you, every single person you compare yourself to is carrying something you cannot see. Nobody's life is as perfect as their profile makes it look. Now let's talk about something deeper than social media, because comparison existed long before smartphones. Comparison at its core is a symptom of forgetting a very important truth. And that truth is this: your provision, your timeline, your blessings, and your tests were written specifically for you before you were even born. Nobody else's portion in life was ever meant to be your portion. When you compare your journey to someone else's, you are essentially questioning the wisdom of how your own story was written, as if you know better than the one who wrote it. I want you to imagine two students in the exact same classroom, given two completely different exam papers based on their own individual level and needs. If one student starts complaining because their paper looks harder than the other student's paper, without knowing that the teacher designed each paper specifically to match what each student is capable of and needs to grow, would that complaint make any sense? This is closer to your life than you might think. Your challenges, your pace, your timeline, they were designed specifically around you, your growth, and your capacity. Comparing your paper to someone else's paper misses the entire point of the exam. Let's be honest about something else too. Comparison rarely inspires genuine growth. Most of the time, it does one of two damaging things. It either makes you feel inferior, crushing your motivation and convincing you that you are somehow behind or not enough, or it makes you feel superior, filling you with a subtle arrogance that blinds you from your own areas of growth. Neither of these outcomes brings you closer to Allah, closer to gratitude, or closer to peace. Comparison in almost every form pulls you further away from contentment, not closer to it. I want to talk about a specific kind of comparison that hurts even more than the stranger on social media kind, and that is comparing yourself to people close to you. Your sibling who got married before you, your friend who had children when you're still struggling with infertility, your cousin whose business succeeded while yours failed, your classmate who seems to have everything figured out while you feel like you're starting from zero. This type of comparison cuts deeper because it happens close to home, in real relationships, with real people you cannot simply scroll past. If this is you, I want you to hear this clearly. Someone else's blessing is not your loss. When your friend gets married, that does not delay your marriage. When your cousin's business succeeds, that does not take away from your future success. Blessings are not a limited pie where someone else's slice means less for you. Allah's provision is not running out. What is written for you will reach you at the time it is meant to reach you, in the way it is meant to reach you, and comparing your timeline to someone else's does not speed anything up. It only steals your peace in the meantime. There is something called the disease of the heart that comparison feeds, and it is called envy, or what some call the evil eye of the heart, wishing that someone else's blessing would disappear, or resenting them for having what you don't yet have. This is different from healthy ambition, where you see someone's success and it motivates you to work harder without wishing ill upon them. Be honest with yourself about which one you are feeling, because they lead to very different places. One leads to growth. The other slowly poisons your own heart while doing absolutely nothing to change your circumstances. Now let's talk about the antidote, because complaining about comparison without offering a solution would not be very helpful. The antidote to comparison is gratitude, but not the shallow kind of gratitude we often hear about. I am talking about deep, intentional, specific gratitude. Instead of a general thank God for everything, I want you to get specific. Thank Allah for the fact that you woke up today with functioning eyes, functioning limbs, a mind that can think clearly. Thank Allah for the relationships in your life that are real, even if imperfect. Thank Allah for the lessons your struggles have taught you that someone with an easier path may never learn. When you train yourself to notice your own blessings specifically and consistently, comparison naturally begins to lose its grip on you, because you become too busy appreciating your own life to have the emotional energy left to resent someone else's. Gratitude and envy cannot fully coexist in the same heart at the same time. The more you feed one, the weaker the other becomes. When comparison creeps in, and it will pause and make a sincere dua for that person. Ask Allah to encourage. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's very hard to resent someone you're sincerely praying good for. Over time, this rewires your heart from envy into genuine happiness for others. Also, be mindful of what you consume. If a certain account or platform consistently triggers comparison and insecurity, it's not weakness to mute it, unfollow it, or step away. Protecting your heart is wisdom, not pettiness. You wouldn't keep eating food that made you sick, so don't keep consuming content that makes your heart sick. Carry this with you. Your life was never meant to look like anyone else's. Your struggles weren't meant to be easier just because someone else's look easier from the outside. You are not behind. You are not less than. You are exactly where you're meant to be in a story written specifically for you by the one who knows exactly what you need and when. So starting tonight, make a decision. The next time comparison creeps in, catch it, name it, and redirect it into gratitude and dua instead of resentment. Measure your life only against your own growth and your own closeness to Allah. That's the only comparison that brings peace. Your journey is yours alone.